I'm gonna see if I can date like the rest of the world for a week, or if I'm actually meant to wait for God's plan. Have you ever felt torn between diving into the dating world as it is today and waiting for what you believe is God's plan for your relationships? It's a dilemma many Christians face, trying to balance the desire for connection with the principles of their faith. This video is for anyone who's questioned whether they're dating like the world or waiting for God's plan. And in the end, it should challenge your mindset and make you see dating from God's perspective. Today, I'm exposing 7 worldly habits that have crept into our relationships and are quietly sabotaging your future marriage. And stay with me, because at the very end, I'm sharing the one sign that God is actually telling you to leave the person you're currently with. Let's explore this together. Habit 1. Casual dating. The world says, keep your options open. The world says, it's just a coffee date. But as a believer, your heart is a temple, not a playground. When you date casually, you are essentially telling God that you don't value the time or the emotions He's given you. You aren't just seeing what's out there, you're practicing for divorce by learning how to walk away when the fun stops. If you aren't ready for a covenant, why are you playing with someone else's destiny? Societal expectations can be overwhelming. Everyone around us seems to be in a relationship, and it feels like we're the only ones still waiting. The fear of missing out creeps in, making us wonder if we're making a mistake by not jumping into the dating pool. But let's not forget that our worth and identity come from who God says we are, not from our relationship status. Habit number 2 is dating unhealed. We've turned dating into a pharmacy. We look for a partner to heal our childhood trauma or fill a void only God can fill. You're asking a human being to be your savior. That's not a relationship, that's idolatry. If you're still checking your ex's Instagram every night, you aren't ready to love someone else. You're just looking for a distraction. Let God heal you in a secret place so you don't bleed on someone who didn't cut you. I recall a season in my life when I was actively seeking God's plan for my relationships. It wasn't easy. There were moments of loneliness and doubt, but in the silence and the stillness, I began to hear God's voice more clearly. He was teaching me to trust Him with my desires, to seek His wisdom, and to focus on becoming the person He wanted me to be. The peace and fulfillment I found in that season were indescribable, even when I didn't have the answers I was looking for. Habit 3. Publicly announcing the relationship before it's tested. We live in a post it or it didn't happen culture, but notice how the enemy loves to attack what is public. When you launch your relationship on social media in the first month, you are inviting the opinions of 500 people into your private business. You start performing for the camera instead of praying for the person. Keep it private until it's permanent. If you have gotten this far, hit the like button and subscribe for more relationships God's way. Let's get back into the video. Habit 4, and this is where it gets real, commitment before covenant. This is the trial marriage. You're sharing a bank account, you're buying a dog together, maybe you're even living together to save money. Let's call it what it is. It's a counterfeit. You are giving spouse benefits on a boyfriend budget. When you give someone the reward of marriage without the responsibility of the vow, you are devaluing yourself. Why would they buy the house if they've been living in it for free for 3 years? Wait till you hear number 7. This is the one most Christians are actually defending right now. You need to hear this. Habit 5. The maybe game. We call it mentorship or just being friends, but you know they have feelings for you and you're keeping them around for the ego boost. That's not kindness, that's emotional manipulation. Christians should be the most honest people on earth. If it's a no, say it's a no. Don't keep them on the bench while you wait for a better player to walk onto the field. Love your neighbor enough to let them find who they're actually meant for. Number 6, traveling alone together. We see Christian influencers doing Bae-cations and we think it's fine. But let's be honest, you are put in a position where your flesh is screaming and your spirit is grieving. You are creating memories of intimacy that your soul can't process because you haven't made a vow yet. You are building an oneness that will tear your soul apart if you break up. Don't build a house on someone else's land. Finally, habit 7, dating potential instead of reality. You're dating the person you hope they become, not the person they are right now. You think you can change them into a husband or fix them into a wife. That's God's job, not yours. If they don't love Jesus today, don't marry them hoping they'll love him tomorrow. You married a person, not a project. The contrast between dating like the world and waiting for God's plan becomes even clearer when we consider how we approach relationships. Are we seeking validation, excitement, or comfort from our partners? Or are we looking for a deep, meaningful connection that reflects God's love? By focusing on character, shared values, and spiritual compatibility, we set the stage for relationships that are not just fulfilling, but also lasting. I promised you a sign at the end. Here it is. If you have to lose your peace to keep that person, they aren't from God. God's blessing adds no sorrow to it. In the end, aligning our dating lives with God's plan leads to more fulfilling and lasting relationships. When we choose to wait for God's plan, we're not missing out. We're actually gaining something far more valuable, a relationship that honors Him and brings joy to our lives. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you're looking for more faith-based relationship advice, consider subscribing and checking out my previous video on 12 qualities of a godly partner.